So, hello, my name is Daniel Gates. This is Learning for My Reptiles. Full title of this channel was Learning Science and How to Deal with People for My Reptiles. Today, we will have Bella, my newest educational animal. We'll show you why here in a minute. Hope you stay with me for that. But we want to answer a question. Are wild type podcasts sexist? I think we need to really get into this.
A lot of the reptile hobby was built by the ball python guys, right?
And
agree. I have so much admiration and appreciation for the path that they've paved, right?
Totally.
For the hobby and everything else. But what would it have looked like if it was leopard geckos that paved the way, or if it was chameleons that paved the way, right? I feel just truly from my perspective, I feel like ball pythons were kind of a big thing. So I wonder if that would be different if it was ladies.
I'll go out on a limb a little bit. And again, no offense to anybody at all whatsoever. But I do think that if it was, say, for example, it was female ball python owners who really paved the way, I genuinely think it wouldn't have taken 30 to 40 years for us to advocate for bigger enclosures. I think that would have been from day one, right? I think
All right. Now, I am a big fan of that Wild Type podcast, but she was wrong. If women were in the hobby earlier, this wouldn't have changed that much, if anything. I don't think that's correct. It's interesting. But I'm a big fan of Wild Type podcast. I listen to them every week. I listen to them at work, so it's just something to listen to. It's really one of those things. And I enjoy it. I think it's an amazing start for a lot of people. I had a female neighbor that her son was like, "Oh, geckos. So we got a gecko." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know these people knew who I was, but they did. And she did her research and just absolutely loved this leopard gecko. Just absolutely. And they were just it sits with me every night. And she was just I'm more happier with it than that. So understand that this is not me dogging on the Wild Type podcast. So she is a marketing manager. So we know that this is good marketing for their brand to bring women in by, making the claim that women are superior to men. It's good marketing. I'm not going to dog her for that. I want to take and get people to understand this changing the hobby, being a leader, being things like that, are genderless. There is no such thing as gender based in this hobby. So let's look at Bella real quick. Her name is Bella. She's a blue-tongued skink northern. She's adorable, right? Why is she such a great educational animal? Besides the fact that she's so calm, my other blue-tongued skink is named Hangry. He was born and raised right here in St. Louis, and he jumped out of the tote and bit me on the belly button. A lot calmer, but why Bella? Bella is short for Belichick because she looks like a deflated football. So that's not me doing anything. That is literally her back. It was sold to him like that, and I'm straight up. I am not doing a single thing. My hand is fully still. So most likely she glass surfed as a baby. And that's why this is such great educational, showing you that you can't hold them in too small of an enclosure. So this is great. She's a great educational animal. And so we'll have her out for a while. But so this is awesome. So Belichick, because he looks like a deflated football. So Bella for short. I hope you enjoy that, because I always do. Everybody gets a big kick out of that. So let's understand that it is absolutely genderless based for people to change this hobby. Women are more nurturing. The divorce rates of lesbian couples are higher than for gay, male, or heterosexual couples. Yeah, but I guess women care more? No, that's not right. The murder rates of babies, of children, women are actually 55% more likely to kill their children than males are. Yeah, we can't really say women are that nurturing. I'm sorry. It doesn't line up. It's not correct. We understand that. We understand. I mean, women aren't necessarily, and they said something like that. It's still not even close. Like, that's not how that works at all. We actually see that when women become bosses, the sexual harassment towards men go up by 25%, 24, 25%. And that's people that'll stand up, that'll talk forward. So this doesn't really work as a topic as, hey, women, that would have been better. No, no, no. That doesn't guarantee that. Tell you what does. Very fascinating. So when we look at this, women that I've almost dated, there was a lady I used to work with. She kind of wanted to date me, I could tell. She reminded me of my aunt, who was not affectionate in her marriage. And so, no, I'm not interested in that. Not interested in a loveless marriage. No, thank you. Forget that. But it's also, women tend to want to, and I've heard this quite a few times, women want a relationship where they can shut off their brains. They don't have to think anymore. Well, she had cats. What's going to happen to my animals? Because she made more money than me at that job. And every time she needed help, she came to me for help. So she's already in that position where she's more than happy to shut down her brain and let me do it. Well, I'm not going to be home every day. What happens to her cats and my reptiles when she's not willing to put effort towards my reptiles because she's shut down her brain? My reptiles die. I'm not interested in that. No, just no thank you. No thank you whatsoever. That is not really okay. But, when it comes to dating, we could look at so what makes us the happiest? It's sustainable self-importance is the key to happiness. So what can we do in a relationship that's sustainable with this hobby? There's a girl that I know, very, very hot. Very hot. Like, she was hot. And yet, we almost dated. And yeah, I'm a hideous chud. But that's not really where women focus on. Women with healthy self-esteem want to feel like they can be better. It's that sustainable self-importance. Yay, Bella! All I really need is Bella. Bella's awesome. That's all I really need is Bella. I don't need a girl. But this girl, we almost dated. And I always tell guys, start out complimenting them on something you actually enjoy about them during a conversation. This girl has great questions. She believes in me. There's this thing. So it's like, why didn't we date then? Well, she's what you would call a dismissive avoidant. Her childhood was filled with emotional neglect. So she can't really be in a healthy relationship. And she's unwilling to face that. Yeah, Bella. So you can't do it that way. And it makes me wonder how many people in this hobby are dismissive avoidants. So they just want to, oh no, this isn't working for me because this is getting too strong. No. So it wasn't good. When we were supposed to go out on the first date, and I had been talking to her for months, we really got well known together. It was nice. It really felt like a connection. I felt like we would have been a power couple. And I really do feel like that would have been sustainable. But she can't do it that way. So I'm not just looking at it like she's hot. No. Our personalities did not clash. They complemented each other. I love learning and teaching, and she loves the same things. She asks some of the greatest questions where everybody else, she'll be texting or doing something on her phone while listening to one of my talks and then ask questions later. It's fantastic. I really believe in her. This is why, even though she bailed on me over a headache and shit like that, and it was not pleasant, and then acted like I didn't exist the next time we met, I still don't dog on her that way, because I believe in what she can do for our society, and that's what we want. We want that in our society. So it sucks. So I do wonder if there's a lot of dismissive avoidance, because these are, since they don't require that much emotional connection between you and them, if that would be what makes these are great pets for dismissive avoidance. If this would be great for the dismissive avoidance, because they aren't requiring as much emotional attachment so often, like you would need in a healthy relationship. So very fascinating. But then we have the toxic masculinity. I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody tell me, oh, well, if you ain't gonna fight me, then you ain't a man. You ain't a man unless you banging her. Why ain't you banging her? You're banging her, right? You're banging her, right? You're banging her. It's like, she's actually pretty cool once you get past the dismissive avoidant part. She would actually make a great partner, not just a sex object. It's like, seriously, like what, like just that toxic masculinity. So I got degrees in physics. I got a degree in physics while working at Lazy Boy. My body literally breaks down now because of that. I don't have cartilage in my arms, my elbows, because of that stuff. But I have a degree in physics, and I still get told, it's like, dude, I want to move up in the company. I want to move up. Well, you need to earn it. You need to earn it. That's toxic masculinity right there. I know what I'm doing. Like, I have an idea because I actually understand leadership. I actually put in the work, but yet it's still not enough for people. It doesn't matter what you do. You have to still prove it to them. It's about them. It's their deal. It's their deal, right? It's their problem, not mine. It's their insecurities, not my insecurities. That's the problem. Because I've got a pretty good handle on my insecurities overall. I don't really look down at people, but I do notice things. So we can really say that it wouldn't be women and that toxic masculinity. Oh my God. Just stop. Just stop. Tell me that you're an insecure little boy without telling me you're an insecure little boy. That's just ridiculous. I'm sitting here talking to cheerleaders that are adult cheerleaders, and I'm a hideous chud, and they would actually date me. What's wrong with you? Because I'm not an egotistical misogynist. But I do understand that it's not this. So I didn't grow up in this hobby, but now I'm one of the leading experts in neuroscience. And I'm literally going to write the book on neuroscience. I just have to find the time. And so we're trying to make this video quicker because of that. But yeah, I really like them. They do a great job. So one thing that we noticed, I didn't grow up in the hobby. I grew up in the middle of the woods. Something that we should understand is that people that are in the hobby already, that have already established themselves, are going to try to keep with what they've established. They're going to try to keep going with it. We see it all the time in society, especially like politics and sports. My team's the best, blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's fun when it has nothing to do with other people. And this is one of those things, it's like that. So if you're looking for somebody inside the hobby to be dramatically different, you may be waiting a while. This is why understanding when people come into the hobby with completely different trains of thoughts, we should look to them instead of pushing them aside. So what people get wrong about empathy is it doesn't make you a better person. It is a neurological tool used. And used in the wrong ways, you could really hurt somebody. Used in the right ways, you can come up with some great things. Like you could do some great things. And surprisingly, abuse victims are more likely to have this stuff, to be more empathic. There's this modeling right here in your brain, right in front of your right ear, underneath the forebrain. So if I yawn, you yawn, that's it. Back here in the back, it's the putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. It's a piece of your imagination. So you need an imagination, and you need to actually be reading people's emotions and have both of them attached together in childhood. So I lived out in the middle of nowhere, like literally the middle of nowhere in Missouri, Arkansas border. I didn't have a friend that lived near me my age till I was in junior high. My brother's 5 years older and learning disabled. I was not learning disabled. I grew a temper because life was unfair. So I learned to control my temper, which actually leads to more empathy. So therefore, I had to develop my imagination because I was in the middle of nowhere. No computers, no phones, nothing like that. It literally three or four channels. So my imagination grew like a single child would. And then you have the fact that not only was it like a single child, but I also developed, reading people's emotions. What else am I going to do? Like I have that anger issue stuff, so I have to learn to read people's emotions and stuff. And so those connected together. Now, if I see it in my head, I feel it in a second. So that's how it really works. Not because, oh, well, I have empathy, so I'm a better person. No, cut that out. Cut that out. Cut it out. Use it as a tool to better yourself, to better these guys' lives. Not just, oh, well, it's only like this and that. It's like, no. So it's very fascinating. So we look at snake discovery. Snake discovery said, hey, this is not, well, what did Snake Discovery said in the interview with Epic? She was asked who they look up to get where they're at, to get like the facility and all that stuff. She said, nobody. There was nobody to look up to. So they did it on their own. Well, neuroscience and stuff, I'm doing on my own. I don't have anybody to look up to. So we see that it's not that, hey, we need this person to look up. So it's somebody outside. And yeah, we're probably going to find that more in women than men. But just period. It doesn't matter. Snake Discovery is amazing. One of the smartest people in the hobby that I've ever met. Like Emily's absolutely brilliant. And Ed's amazing. So those guys as a team makes great. So yeah, we should not stop looking at it as, hey, who's the best in the hobby? Who's got the most followings? Who's this? But look at it. Who came to the hobby with the outsider perspective that's actually doing something interesting, different, and how do we support that? Otherwise, we're just catering to the same bullshit. And we've seen how that all works. Man, I mean, all the toxic masculinity and femininity. So I get why she says, like, what Wild Type podcast said that? Said it's women. She's a marketing lady, not Neptune's Chameleon, the other one. I apologize. has a legless lizard. I hear all the other things. I'm terrible with names. I'm surprised I remember Neptune things. I can't tell you either of their names. So the blonde, when she said that, she's a marketing person. So yeah, she understands that her audience, women want to hear that. That it's women are better. But it's not true. A buddy of mine actually works for one of the expo things, and he says 60% of their calls are from women. The ones that say, you know, there's a sick animal on this table. There's a sick animal on this table. 60% are women. Well, that's interesting. I asked him, well, how many of those turned out to be true? How many of those actually turned out to actually be truly sick animals? He had no answer. So keep that in mind. So these are the ones that'll complain more, but is their complaints actually legitimate? It's a good question. And I can't tell you it's wrong, can't tell you it's right, but I think bringing in more women into the hobby is going to be beneficial at some point in time. Is it also going to hurt us? Absolutely. Bringing more men into the hobby is going to do the exact same thing, because we need to be focusing on those that have a different outsider's perspective that can actually bring something to the table. When I had to learn rheology, I didn't go to, we learn rheology for seeds. So planting seeds and the chemicals that go on seeds. It's like, no, I didn't learn it for that. I learned it because of that, but I learned it from the paint industry because they were already doing it. They were already doing what we needed to get done. The studies that we wanted to get done, they already were accomplishing that. So how can we turn that to our advantage and do that? That's what we really need to be doing. What are they bringing unique to the hobby? Not, well, it doesn't fit my viewpoint, so therefore it's wrong. It's wrong. It's like, no. We need to be supporting these people that are coming in. Like we see the toxicity everywhere. And so I just want this to be clear. It's non-gender bias that we actually can achieve more in the home. You listening to me? She's listening to me. She's listening to me. That's what she was doing. And she said, "Gosh, I see you." Yeah, every light went off. So what are we doing out here? It's my bedtime. Yeah, she's a good girl. So yeah, I hope you guys get something out of this. I hope forwarding, we actually look for people outside the community coming into the community and look what they could contribute to the community and embrace that contributing factors that they might actually bring into the community. Because, so me and Bella believe that people also need to embrace the basic sciences. So that's when I try to help somebody else out, I say, hey, this is the basic science of this. You need humidity. You need to understand surface temperature. You need to understand air temperature. You need to understand this real basic sciences. And that is what we need to teach new people and then take from them what they know. We need to have that exchange. If they don't have the basics on science, then we actually do need to work with them more. And that's where we get hurt, is the lack of understanding of the sciences. Because, the whole toxicity of trying to be, about gender, and just basically becoming sexist in the process. You're not sexist, you're a good girl. She's looking up at me. That's what she's doing. Yeah. She's like, what are we doing out here? All right. I think I was going to go into more stuff, but I think that's where we're going to end it. understand that leadership, and we need to really focus on that. There's two parts to leadership that we absolutely need to grasp. You have to be able to see the talents of other people, and you have to be able to deal with stress. Saying leadership is anything other than that makes you freaking bad, makes you wrong. Has nothing to do with gender, has nothing to do with how big your bank account is, has nothing to do with the amount of followers you have. When shit hits the fan, you want somebody that will actually do the job that needs to be done. There's a great book, First Rate Madness. They talked about how people with clinically depressed, like Abe Lincoln, Gandhi, Churchill, people like that, how they became great leaders in their time simply because they were in the right time for somebody that could deal with the stress of what they were dealing with because of that clinical depression. They would not have been great presidents in times of peace. Sometimes peace, the leadership should look boring. You should delegate. In times of war, times of crisis, leader needs to be able to stand. Needs to be able to say, hey, you're good at this, go get this done. So if you want to change the hobby, change the way we look at this. Stop looking at like, oh, he's got so many followers. Oh, it's like, is he actually adding, contributing something to it that we might actually see, that we might actually be able to look at and improve the hobby? If the answer is no, who gives a shit then? Why do we care that this person's in the hobby? I mean, and it's not women. It's not men. Toxicity's everywhere. Everybody wants to feel there's nothing so ordinary as the wish to be extraordinary. And that's not common. So you're going to get the bad. You're going to get a lot of bad. Bringing new women into this hobby. One or two of them are going to come in and they're going to be snake discovery amazing. But are we as a community going to recognize that? We should. And we should learn how to do that. So thank you all for coming to my TED Talk. Bella says thank you. Oh, she's adorable, isn't she? Thank you guys. And for Wild Type Podcast, I'm a wild girly. Keep up the good work. We want more people in this hobby. Yeah. I know. What do you want? What are you doing? Yay, she's beautiful. Bella! What you doing, Bella? Like, subscribe. Otherwise, Bella gets you. I'll stick Bella on you. I'll stick Bella on you if you like and subscribe. Not if you don't. Because she's absolutely adorable. Thank you guys. You guys have a good night.